I just had an interesting conversation with a meditation teacher, and she's exploring what to do next in terms of her path. And I think there's been a lot of misdirection around which way to go and how to make a living, really. And the conversation turned into channeling and seeing what information came through. And there was such a conflict, or like stark difference, that I could see, and this incredible level of awareness, and yet this aspect of the much more human self that still needed integrating. And I remember them saying, I've done like decades of therapy, and I often hear this from people because it's a disappointment or it's a frustration that we've been trying all of these different methods and we're still not there yet. And I share that it can be very dull when I have a session and something's come up and it's, it's back to this person again. I thought, oh gosh, am I not dealt with that yet? But it's this spiral path, we're not. Before, it might have been 90% of the problem, and actually now the whole thing has shrunk right down and it's only 5% of the issue. So, that particular area or that particular person, and actually we've done this huge change in transition, but there's just often the integration work can be titrating even deeper, and so I know that I'm definitely into ancestral and past life. It's not that I don't have stuff now, but it's just, there's just a lot there, That's what makes us so interesting and inspiring as humans, because of our uniqueness and complexity. But so what was striking for me in the conversation was there was this incredible level of wisdom and yet not recognizing our own true nature and what would be the most natural path for us, and thinking I've got to do this legitimate thing in the world that people understand and recognize, and that's the thing that makes sense and ticks the boxes for this bit of me. But it was almost as though that I don't want to say lower consciousness, but the more conscious self was leading the way in that. And what was actually really, really loud and really, really clear was, you're this meditation teacher, do retreats. So it just made me smile, because it made me think of myself and my own blind spots around, how it's really easy for us to ignore our deepest and truest nature, and that's both our interests and our gifts. And actually, when we lean into that and when we accept it and when we allow it to expand, that is the way. And sometimes we need support of somebody else to help us remember that and recognize that and feel into that and allow it to expand. And that this other part of us, the more conscious self, can be trying to help us survive and figure stuff out, but it's actually taking us down a blind alley. And I know for me, the friction was thinking I was too sensitive for years, and there was something wrong with me, and why can't I function like everyone else, and having to turn my life upside down so I didn't have to be in a noisy office around people, feeling drained. Even being on the bus, I'd get off, and by the time I was in town, I was like on the floor feeling exhausted, and I didn't understand it was because of the level of information that I was picking up when everybody else seems fine, so therefore there's something wrong with me. And it's like, actually, through doing my own self-development over years and years, realizing, no, there's a gift in this. Often there's a double edge to everything. It's like when we've got this ability in one area, it's this great strength. In another area, it can give us a weakness. But if we start to lean into the strengths and accept it for what it is, it can just expand so much more greatly. So yeah, I just thought I'd resonate. In case it resonated with you, I'd share that. And I'm excited for them to see what might transpire and what might happen.